What's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Garage Talk Sports. I'm Mills.
I'm Bobby.
And I'm Nick.
And we are back again from our little 3-ish week hiatus.
Yeah.
Just had some scheduling conflicts. You know what happens with adult life. This isn't our full-time job, though we'd love it to be.
Oh, sign me up.
But in that time, we decided to do a little remodeling and redecorating of the studio. We got this nice lamp.
Studio.
It's
Dad.
courtesy of my father.
These
It's
nice succulents.
Yeah, we got some. Those are fake, but we got some nice fake succulents.
know that.
Well, it's integrity thing. You
Yeah,
know? Where's your integrity? But
Integrity,
this has always been here. We've just been hiding it. But this table has made an appearance.
Yeah, brand new table.
I'm gonna show off our table for those of you who are listening on Spotify, SoundCloud, and not watching on YouTube. First, watch us on YouTube. Second, this is a nice black. I'm gonna say that's a kind of wood. I don't know what kind. I like to say oak when I don't know.
Yeah, it looks like
This is a nice black oak piece. It can fold out to be a round table. We have it folded down to be like a little rectangle thing.
Just a little paint.
It complements the lamp
Yeah, it
nicely. Anyways, though, we got a fun episode for you guys. We're gonna kind of do we're a little late to our Super Bowl recap and whatnot, but we will cover some of that. Mostly, we're gonna talk about just kind of wrap up our final thoughts on the NFL season that passed. And then we will go into some things, Bears offseason wish list. So, some players, things we want to target. We want the Bears to target there. And then, as always, our episodes end with Nick's question of the week. By the way, I did officially win Nick's picks. We already announced that. Who was the winner for our playoff thing?
Bobby.
Bobby was. Bobby won. Bobby took home the trophy in that one, but he doesn't get to name the segment. I do.
Yeah.
Stay tuned, guys. I got a good name coming at you. But we will start with our hotspots as always, and then we'll kind of roll into the episode from there. So with that, Nick, you or myself?
You go first.
Okay, so I'll go first. My hotspot, we don't talk a lot of hockey on the show, but we do have the NHL trade deadline coming up next Friday, March 3rd. And looking like it's going to be the end of an era here in Chicago. Patrick Kane will most likely be traded. My guess is going to be to the New York Rangers, but that's just my guess. So some things just kind of reflecting on everything that Patrick Kane and Jonathan Toews as well, who is battling some serious health stuff, kind of probably on the tail end here, probably will. I think he should retire. But this is about Patrick Kane and most likely being traded. He's having a somewhat down year, but then again, it's also the Blackhawks. They're the second worst team in the NHL. So yeah, this is probably his final go around with the Blackhawks. Who knows? He might sign back later in his career when he's approaching retirement, but just kind of wanted to shout him out. Thanks for all of the memories, the 3 Stanley Cups, and good luck wherever you end up. I do hope it's New York for his sake. But it is going to be sad because I always thought he would retire, like do his whole career with the Blackhawks.
Yeah, I did.
But he has said recently, he's voiced his displeasure with management and just the direction the team has gone. So once you're at that point as a player, it's kind of time for you to go and move on.
And
they're terrible. They're so
the
bad.
moment they traded DeBrincat, I just lost interest completely.
Every time they developed a new young guy, we were like, oh, this could be the next guy. And then all of a sudden it's like, yeah, we're going to trade him.
Yeah, they just got run into the ground by the Stan Bowman regime, who, yes, Stan Bowman, gets credit for gets credit for all 3 Stanley Cups, but I'll die on this hill and I'll take it to the grave. Dale Talon was the dude who set that team up to be successful as long as it was. And all Stan Bowman had to do was not let it crash and burn to the ground. And he managed to hold on. He managed to not let that happen for, 6 years. And then it all came crashing down right after. We say 2017 was their last solid season. They made the bubble playoff thing that they did during COVID, but that doesn't really count for much. They just kind of got lucky with where they were at the standings when the season had to end and they had to reboot it back up. But either way, thank you.
And their final.
Yeah.
It doesn't really count.
Yeah, it doesn't count. Asterisk. Massive asterisk.
Your Disney World title.
Either way, thank you, Patrick Kane, for all of the memories you brought to Blackhawks fans and kind of reviving the franchise. It's a shame that they always say you want to leave somewhere better than when you got there. Unfortunately, the Blackhawks have just been so poorly mismanaged. Kane is going to be a part of got there, helped build it up to an empire, and then it crashed and burned. It's time for him to dip. Not his fault, of course. Yeah. It's a shame the direction the Blackhawks have gone, but Patrick Kane is still balling out. 7 goals in 4 games for him, his last 4 games. He's playing really well. He's really trying to make his trade value as high as it can get right now.
Against Dallas, that was
insane. Dude. He just put the team on his back. 2 goals, 1 assist, 3 points. Nutty.
Did you see that game?
No, I didn't. I was
The end of the game, the puck was this close to going in before the buzzer went off.
I thought that was the Vegas game in overtime.
That happened twice. But
it happened to him twice?
This time it happened in favor of the Blackhawks. It was 4-3.
They ruled it?
And they ruled it that it wasn't in yet when the buzzer went off.
Oh, okay. So
then the Blackhawks
won.
Yeah.
Nice.
Crazy.
But that's my hotspot. Shout out Patty Kane. And I will hand it off to Nick next.
Yeah, I'm going to give a shout out to Mac McClung. Won the NBA dunk contest this year. And actually, his dunks were impressive. He made all the dunks on his first attempt. I'm trying to remember the guy from the Pelicans who also did very well. He was a younger guy. And to me, it's the cycle of the dunk contest gets really, really bad for 2-3 years. And then we have one guy slightly save it. And then after he's like, you know what, I don't want to do it anymore. Then it goes back down.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there was Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon really.
They were the last good dunk contest.
But as soon as Zach LaVine started getting good, he stopped doing it. For whatever reason, I don't know. LeBron's always been like, well, I don't want to get hurt in the dunk contest. Michael Jordan did it. Vince Carter did it. Dominique Wilkins did it. Nate Robinson did it. Blake Griffin did it. And it's like all these guys did it. And a lot of them in the newer years have done it when they're like still not a well-known name yet.
Right.
And then like stopped afterwards.
You can put yourself on the map with
Michael Jordan was still in his prime when he was doing it. So it's like, do it. I know John Morant has said if he gets 2 billion likes on his one tweet he sent out, he will do the dunk contest next year. And it's just like, just do it. Like,
but this is kind of par for the course with how the NFL, NBA is doing things, you know, with all this load management, rest days and everything. You're just seeing players just take time off all the time. And part of that is because I think the NBA is the only sport when you're judging how great a player is, you almost only look at how many championships they've won.
Yeah.
You ever notice that?
Yeah.
So like all these players, they're not going to do it when they're like, oh, like you said, I don't want to get hurt doing the dunk contest. I would rather rest and not have to like exert myself for something pointless. As for a guy like Mac McClung, the prize money for the dunk contest was more than his career earnings as a professional basketball player.
But it was only $100,000.
Yeah, that's right. My point is he makes dick.
Oh yeah,
in the G League.
Yeah. Well, he just got signed.
Yeah, he got picked up
Philadelphia
by Philly. So
and that's why he was in it. But it's just like to me, like I understand LeBron not doing it now. He is very old and he's getting tired. Like yes, I expect him not to. Like same thing. Zach LaVine's been hurt the past couple of years. If he didn't do it because of that reason, perfectly fine. But I would love to see Mac McClung, John Morant, Aaron Gordon, and Zach LaVine all in it. And it's just like, well, because then you're competing against guys that are like everyone wants to see. It's very entertaining.
Right.
I look at it the same way. And it's like the dunk contest gets devalued. Same way the 3-point contest has been. Everyone always says Steph Curry has the record. No, he doesn't. They changed it for him. He had a whole rack of money balls now. There's now a 3-point ball that's like the deep range.
Yeah.
It's not the same. And then I look at the same thing with the NFL. Tyler Huntley made it to the Pro Bowl. Good for him. But also it devalues you going to the Pro Bowl. Because now it's like, well, now if everyone just says no, they don't want to play as a quarterback. Now Tyler Huntley, a guy who threw 2 touchdown passes.
He only threw 2? Really?
Yeah.
That was it? I thought he had more than that.
So now it's like
3 interceptions.
And now it's like
he made the Pro Bowl.
Yeah. And if you look at the season too, I feel bad for guys like Geno Smith deserved to make the Pro Bowl. But now it's like
he didn't make the Pro Bowl?
No, he did.
Oh, okay.
But
I was gonna say
it's like when you look at it, you're like, oh, that year Tyler Huntley made it. So it's like it's not that impressive to be a Pro Bowl quarterback that year.
Yeah.
When you have guys that have 6-7, it's impressive. But also it used to be impressive when you had just one, because you're one of the 6 best quarterbacks in the league. Now you look at it and you're like, oh, a guy made the Pro Bowl with only 2 touchdown passes.
More interceptions than touchdowns.
So
by the way, shout out Geno Smith, comeback player of the year.
Oh, yeah.
Clap it up. I don't think we talked about. Yeah, we didn't actually. We didn't cover any of that stuff.
Yeah, but
it happens.
Good for him.
Good for him.
Hey, he didn't write back.
He ain't right back, man. He ain't right back.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where he goes forward. But it's just like I don't like everything that it gets. A championship's a championship. Like you win a championship, you win a championship. And you look at guys like this happens in the MLB, I think the most, because you have the ability to play longer later and still win, like Albert Pujols.
Yeah.
If you've won a championship and then chase that ring at the end, it's not as bad.
Yeah, it's totally different.
But you will get judged, like Joey Votto, a guy like now who's never won it. If he just randomly jumps to the Dodgers, the Astros, just to win one, it's like, okay, you won one, but that's not as impressive as if you just kind of came to the team, like Anthony Rendon winning one in Washington when they won. It's like, okay, that's impressive.
I forgot he was there still.
You didn't just jump to a team Like
Wait, he was there when they
yeah.
won?
I didn't.
It was right after Bryce Harper left. Anthony Rendon.
Anthony, I thought they
Anthony
left in the same
No,
offseason.
Anthony Rendon
Oh,
won and
okay.
then left for Los Angeles.
Gotcha. Damn.
But it's just like it devalues things, and like that's what no one talks about. Like you want to talk about LeBron winning trophies or championships versus MJ. MJ never left the team; he always stayed in the same team. Doesn't matter if your team was that good. I look at Steph Curry the same way. I have more respect for Steph Curry winning rings, even though his team was stacked more than
Yeah,
LeBron.
I've never been a fan. Like, super teams happen. I've never been a fan of jumping two teams to build a new super team.
Yeah.
But this isn't supposed to turn into some LeBron slander. MJ's the GOAT, but
Well, yeah, it's
Yeah.
like
it was a good dunk contest.
no. It was,
Shout out Mac
It was
McClung.
good. It's just I would like to see Mac McClung win a dunk contest where there's at least two
He
other
has to beat
competitors where it's like you
other
have
good
to beat.
dunkers.
Yeah.
Like Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon will still go hands down as the best two that have ever competed.
Yeah, that was a good one.
But it's like bring that back. Like I need two guys that I know are going to be studs in the dunk contest.
Yeah.
And then Damian Lillard won the 3-point contest.
Yeah, first time you ever won that. That's impressive.
Yeah.
That's
Shout
a nice
out
first time.
Dame. Bobby, your hotspot?
So the XFL is back.
Yeah.
It's been entertaining to say the least, man. I gotta shout out the DC Defenders fans because
The
on
lemon
last
throwers.
Saturday night they go out tossing lemons on the field because they got their cup snake taken away. And apparently in 2020, I didn't know this, but they were known for just making the biggest cup snakes, and no one ever took them away. So they got them taken away. and-
The Rocks XFL is just not my XFL.
yeah, let them have their cup snake. All
Yeah,
right?
otherwise you get lemons on the
Yeah, or
field.
don't sell drinks with half lemons in them so they could throw them at the field.
That too.
And then
Or at
Injury
least just
intended
mush it
injury.
up a lot. You know, like at White Sox games, you can get like the spiked lemonade or just lemonade, and they put a bunch of lemon in there, but they use this machine to like smash it. Do that at least. I'm not reaching in and grabbing
Honestly,
lemon mush to throw on the
why'd you
field.
get-
That's just not happening.
these people were just having so much fun. Like
I bet.
honestly, I looked out in there. I'm like, they're just enjoying.
I wish we
themselves.
were buying an XFL team. I'd love to go to a game.
Yeah, dude, it looked insane. And then no one.
Ben DiNucci learned he got hit
learned
by a
real quick.
lemon.
He got hit by a lemon. And
Poor guy.
but XFL top rated. It is top notch. I'm here for it.
Good. That's
Yep.
good. I was rooting for it when it was going around pre-COVID. I hope they bring back the Bud Light seltzers in the locker room.
They should.
That was great. I loved watching the teams all shotgun a seltzer right after they
Yeah,
get
true.
back.
I mean, they did during halftime. They like took you in the locker room and you got to see like what.
Well, I saw like they try to get like immediate interviews with a player if they get like an interception or something, which is just a terrible idea.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a terrible idea. Like,
Like I forget who the guy was, but he walks up to one of the DBs who got interceptions. He was like, "It's light work. It's easy work." And I'm like, "This isn't the time, man." Like
yeah.
he obviously used a few more expletives that you should have probably been prepared for. But
Like, wow, we weren't expecting that.
After his fourth interception, and he's
hey,
getting
Paxton,
benched.
so how's it feel to be benched in every professional football league? Fuck you.
Are you just that bad?
So you're actually like the biggest bust ever. He's a scrub.
He was a first round pick.
Yeah, he was.
That the guy from NIU, right?
No,
No, it's Jordan Lynch.
That's
It's
Jordan
Jordan
Lynch. Jordan
Yeah,
Lynch converted to running back,
I think,
and now he's the head football coach at Mount Carmel High School.
Oh, nice.
But no, Paxton Lynch was drafted from Memphis.
yes.
Broncos traded up to draft him.
I knew he went to the Broncos. I
They
just couldn't
they
remember.
actually jumped. I found this out recently, but apparently the Cowboys were trying to trade up to get him, and the Broncos managed to jump them. I think the Cowboys, even though Dak is controversial in terms of how good is he actually, I think you're happy to have him over Paxton
Oh yeah,
Lynch.
definitely.
You'd be happy with one of those just tackling dummies in there, hoping he doesn't fumble the ball.
Well, we have Chase
considering
Daniel.
Yeah.
considering
Paxton
you
Lynch.
draft Paxton Lynch and then you drafted Trevor Siemian with your 7th round, and then
And
Trevor Siemian started that whole year.
Yeah,
Like-
that's right. I forgot about that. That's how that went.
And they were still, weren't they still paying Brock Osweiler at that time?
Yeah.
Was that-
Yeah, well,
No, Houston was on the hook for that
yeah,
massive contract.
that was the year after. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Houston paid
Yeah.
him a lot of money to play for like 3 different teams. He
For
was
the-
traded to the Browns,
Yeah.
then cut by the Browns and signed by Miami.
Yep.
And he played for Miami while Houston still had to pay him. And the Browns had to pay him some too. That's the
That
that's
man-
the contract you want to get.
That
Yeah,
man
that's us.
fleeced them.
He robbed
I would've worked
the
I would have worked
NFL.
for one company, but banged by my 4 previous employers. That'd be great.
Dude, like,
we're
he-
gonna pay half your salary.
He
right
came
now.
in, because I remember he played that game in Chicago against the Bears and looked okay against an unimpressive John Fox football team.
Yeah.
It was John Fox's first year, I think. So, they were terrible, but not the worst they've been since, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
But so he looked solid against them and threw a couple touchdowns and like 250 yards. And was like, they've got their guy.
Yep.
And then the whole NFL's like, that's a guy, that's him. And then the Texans were like, yeah, here's $72 million.
But I mean, not that he's on the same level, but it's like the Jimmy G effect. Like you learned under someone.
Yeah,
who is
except Jimmy G
talented.
got to a
Yeah,
Super Bowl.
No, I'm not
and then
saying
an NFC
they're definitely
championship
not
game.
the same level. I'm just saying it's like he
If
learned under.
you
if
thought
average
if he-
numbers out though, they paid Brock Osweiler the same amount the Bears paid Mike Glennon. So
What?
the Bears paid Mike Glennon the same amount per year. Paid Mike Glennon 18 million.
No, it was 14.5 million, and they
That
cut
was-
him after 1
I
year.
thought it was 18.
Well,
No,
I mean,
the
will
difference was
definitely
that's a bad contract too. But
I
I'll
will
defend the
definitely say
Glennon contract.
They're on par with each other.
Yeah, I'll defend the Glennon one because it was only only 1 year of guaranteed salary. So it's like it's really just a 1 year deal. Whereas Brock Osweiler's was like 3 of the 4 years guaranteed.
it
That's
was-
why the Texans got screwed
Yeah.
because you guaranteed him so much money. Mike Glennon's contract was awful, but it was I think 3 year, $45 million, and we all know how that worked out. But hey, you know what? You reached at a guy, and it went in a market where there was no quarterbacks available in free agency, and whatever you flopped. At least you didn't screw yourself salary cap wise for the next 3 years
Okay,
after.
I don't know if we're going to talk about it, but I just want to hit this real quick.
Sure,
Do you see what Daniel Jones wants?
40 something million dollars.
$45 million.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Homeboy, you're going to be lucky if they franchise tag you. I don't even think you're worth the franchise tag.
Like-
I don't think Daniel Jones is worth more than $18 million as a quarterback. If I were the Giants, I'd be like, hey, dude, go have fun in free agency. And then when you're signed for less than Andy Dalton, remember us.
no, some team will pay him that much. I'm sure
45 million, no chance.
some
I'm-
team will pay him.
I don't think anyone will pay
no,
45.
no one will pay him
Not-
45
not
million.
this year.
You're talking $45 million. He'd be in like the top 5 paid quarterbacks. No.
I could have seen him last year get paid that much,
Someone-
but not this year.
Someone
not
will
gonna
pay him an
He'll-
absurd amount.
He'll
but
most likely get franchise tagged.
I
And
think so.
don't get me started on Daniel Jones.
I
'cause
can't believe
I don't
that
want
he
to rip
wanted
into the
that
guy,
much.
Let's talk about 2 quarterbacks that are studs right now.
Yes.
The Eagles Kansas City game, in my opinion.
Super Bowl, Eagles, Kansas City, the Super Bowl. It's that game had a name.
Well, I'm talking about Eagles versus Chiefs, like quarterback wise. They're both
Okay.
good quarterbacks. For me, the Super Bowl this year, probably the best one that I can remember since Cardinals Steelers way back in like 2011.
We're going way back.
I mean,
there.
like,
That's
you didn't like the lights turning off in the 49ers Ravens game?
no, because that game and again the Falcons Patriots, the comeback game. Those weren't impressive. That was just watching one shitty half of football from one team and then another shitty half of football from another team.
But they were it went overtime. It was the first overtime Super Bowl in overtime.
I mean, that was pretty cool.
The Edelman catch, as pissed off as I was at the result, I still think that's the best Super Bowl to have happened. Well, actually, no, I get your point now that I say it out loud. I liked the
I'm just
49ers Chiefs Super Bowl. I thought that was a good one.
From start to finish, this game,
Yeah.
like I remember watching the Cardinals versus Steelers way back when it was Big Ben throwing, passes.
Just Antonio Holmes.
to
Yeah.
just like all those guys.
Second
I'm just
time
like,
we've brought up that catch here on the show.
Yeah, it is.
I'm just remember watching that and I'm just like, this is a good game the whole time through. Again, just like this year, I didn't care who won. I was like, I just want it to be a good game. And the Eagles jumped early, and then all of a sudden it was like, but the Chiefs were never out of it. When I watched that Patriots Falcons game, I stopped watching most of the second quarter, and then halfway through the fourth, I was like, well, the Patriots are going to win now. I don't even care what happens. I'm just kind of already over it. Like that's just how the book's already been written. There's no way.
So
you're
it's
stopping
rigged?
the
You think the NFL's
Oh
rigged?
yeah, it's clearly scripted.
Yeah.
Actually,
Can't write a better script than that. No, I'm just kidding.
I was
No.
going to say, you had me for a second. I'm like,
can't-
whoa.
You could not pay people enough money for them to be like, yeah, you're gonna lose the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You're like, what is
Dude, I like that when it was all silent right there in the at your Super Bowl party. I'm like, the NFL script writers are at it again, and I just eyes darted to me over there. I felt like I was the only one rooting for the Chiefs in that game, and I hate the Chiefs.
Well-
or at your house, I should say.
Well, I bet on the Eagles to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I
so-
know.
Yeah, I feel like most of the money
was-
in the house
Was on the Eagles.
was on the Eagles, so it's like,
So
yeah, I don't really care.
probably
anymore.
should have just went with the Chiefs because
Yeah.
It was
Great.
a good Super Bowl though. I will say Jalen Hurts showed out. Dude, it's the Mahomes effect. You can do everything right as a team and still lose to Mahomes because that's just how
Yeah.
good he is.
Yeah. My one complaint is NFL refs. Don't throw the flag there. Don't-
No,
It was a
let
hold,
them
man.
play.
It was a hold.
To me,
It was a hold. They showed the other angle, dude.
By
That
the
gets
book, it was a hold, but
Yes.
all right. Yeah, it's a Super Bowl.
no.
Give 'em a
You
little
don't
leeway.
use the Super Bowl to.
No,
To me,
if
I'm not
it's
gonna-
tick,
I'm-
to
I'm
me,
not
it
gonna
wasn't a
use-
ticky tacky call. You see the whole jersey pull. That's complete. Like
But it didn't
that
really
one in the
delay
Cooper
him.
Cup one
It
last
didn't-
year.
Dude, it wasn't like the ball was way overthrown. It wasn't changing the outcome of that game. Like the outcome of that game
You never know.
was changed because of that.
to me,
call.
I look at James Bradbury said it was a hold. So yes,
Yeah,
it's a
he
hold.
said he was hoping they
But-
wouldn't call it.
when I look at when he held him, when you watch it in full time, that hold literally did not impede Juju Smith-Schuster from running anywhere he went.
I'm not
Whether he
arguing
put his hand on his
that.
back or not, it wouldn't have impeded him. And I understand as a ref, you can't make that judgment call.
Yeah.
Did he actually get slowed down? Did he not? Because a lot of times you can argue when they turn them by grabbing their shoulder and they still make the catch, the turn actually helps them make the catch because then they're facing the ball.
Yeah, but all right.
But in that call,
by
I
the
don't
definition-
like in the last 2 minutes of a game the refs getting a decision on the game where it's
That's the impossible thing. See, I feel like this happens every time where we always at some point the refs can't take over a game. At the same time though, they don't make that call. Chiefs settle for a field goal. Eagles now have 2.5 minutes on the clock. Don't hold. It's that simple. Don't pull the jersey. It was an overthrown ball, like
It
you
was
said.
definitely
He
overthrown.
didn't have to hold him, but
Yeah.
he did. And that's the thing that doesn't matter. When the player breaks the rule of the game, you can't just go, as a ref, you can't think we're inside 3 minutes. We're not calling anything unless it's egregious. That's not how you have to go by what the rules are. And
I just
whether
don't
it
like-
impacted him getting to the ball or not, I don't really care. There's been worse calls that have happened in Super Bowls. I will say that the call on Cooper, the pass interference that they called on Cooper Cup, or actually it was a holding that they called on the linebacker for the Bengals in that Super Bowl, was worse than this one because there wasn't a jersey pull. A guy just had his hands on Cup when he turned. This one, when you see the whole jersey do this, it's a holding every day, twice on Sunday. And you
Yeah,
can't
but-
just go, oh, the game's almost over. We can't let this dictate it. The player needs to not do it.
But I'll bring up the fact that again, till I die, I'll bring up this point. NBA refs are heads and tails 10 times better because they will call a game either tight from the start with hand checking and stuff like that.
Exactly.
This game was, it's the same thing happened in the last Super Bowl. The game was very loosely called. Small hand checks and touching was not called until all of a sudden there's 4 minutes left, and then the
that's
Rams are going
gonna-
on the field and they're calling everything.
Yep.
The
If
thing is,
you're
I
gonna-
don't think there was a lot of contact with receivers and defenders. The passing game on both sides was crap the entire game. Jalen, no.
not for Jalen Hurts.
Well,
Well, 301 yards.
Okay, yeah, I guess that's fair. But the passing game for the Chiefs wasn't there, and they weren't getting calls the entire time. There wasn't a lot of contact. Like I can't think of a single play where I said, I can't believe that wasn't interference. Like it was for the most part fundamentally sound coverage on both sides. So he held the guy. It sucks, but when you pull the jersey like that, it's going to get called. I would be totally on board if it was just his hands on him and you see Juju's body turn. But when you see the whole jersey come off of him like that, a ref has to throw the flag.
And then Juju goes on Twitter bragging like, oh,
That's your boy, Bobby.
man.
That's
no,
your boy.
Not
No.
anymore.
Oh, not
Like,
anymore.
That's
It's not your boy anymore.
Have some class.
You can
Like,
make
all right.
it.
You're just mad
Yeah.
because you put money on the Eagles.
And have some class. All right. You won because you got hold. You weren't going to catch that football. All right.
You never know. You got help.
All right, so
If-
I have a
if-
bold question to ask you guys. You guys are going to judge me for this about something I've been saying all season. Who's a better quarterback in this Super Bowl? Mahomes versus Stafford last year. Who's a better quarterback?
Oh, dude, Stafford had a better game last year.
But like I'm just saying who's better?
Overall?
Mahomes this year or Stafford last year?
Like, are we talking just in the game or
Mahomes.
just overall?
Throughout the season.
Oh,
last
Mahomes.
season versus this season.
100%.
Mahomes,
yeah.
not even
Okay,
close.
So now, going into next season, should Jalen Hurts be talked about with just as much praise as Joe Burrow?
I
from-
think Jalen
from
Hurts
those-
is getting more praise than Joe Burrow.
You think so? I
No,
feel like
I don't-
as soon as
no,
Joe
I-
Burrow
I
lost
can-
to
I can
Stafford,
say
they said,
honestly-
boom, instantly fighting Josh Allen for number 2, if not really close to Mahomes.
Yeah,
I
and
don't think anyone is coming out after this game saying that Jalen Hurts is the clear, slightly above Burrow at number 2, close to Mahomes.
Dude, half the NFL fan base thinks he should have been MVP. What are you talking about?
I mean, yeah.
I have not seen anything where anyone has not talked about Jalen Hurts as one of the futures of the NFL.
Well, yeah, everyone's going to say, well, it's a young quarterback. In the,
Jalen,
I
people
just-
are talking about him as a top 5 quarterback.
I mean, he
Okay,
is.
see, that's-
Exactly.
that's what I haven't
I don't
heard.
think this is a conversation at all.
Because that's what I haven't heard yet. I remember just after the Super Bowl, it's like, this is going to be the future of quarterbacks. And then Jalen Hurts is going to be a future guy in the league.
I mean,
I've
Well,
heard
yeah,
that, but
after
it's just-
last year, that's what they were saying
But
because he
it's-
didn't have a great year. There's not a soul out there that thinks Jalen Hurts isn't at least a top 10 quarterback.
I mean,
Oh, yeah, of
name
course,
name one quarterback that you would put ahead of him in the NFC.
There you go.
Like, well, Aaron Rodgers, but
Aaron
after
Rodgers
last-
didn't do very well this
Yeah,
year. So it's,
so it's like
no, in the
I mean,
NFL, no, I think Jalen Hurts might actually have a case for the best quarterback in the NFC. Now the AFC is loaded with
And then
quarterbacks.
I saw a lot of things too, and I think it was people were dogging him for that last throw. A lot of them were like
He slipped, and
charging
I
him
dogged
for
him
that
pretty. I
throw.
laughed pretty hard
And
when it
people are like,
happened.
people are like,
but
this
then I
is the
saw the
difference
clip.
between this and that. I was like, yeah, but he still played amazing.
No,
all
Jay.
game.
Yeah,
I
like-
don't. I think you're kind of reaching there, Nick. I don't think there's anyone who thinks Jalen Hurts isn't one of the best quarterbacks in football.
No, I just
anyone
wanna-
who does, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to say it. You're stupid as hell. Like
Yeah.
So where do you put going into next year? Give me your top 5 quarterbacks.
I'm gonna go Pat Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen. Actually, no, Justin Herbert, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts. The reason is because this isn't a disrespect to Hurts. It's just the other guys can throw for 30 plus touchdowns a year, and they can throw for over 4,000 yards. Now, I
Yeah.
get Hurts brings another aspect of running to the game, but eventually it happens with every quarterback in the NFL. Eventually, you have to get to the point where you can throw to win. Now,
No, I'm fine with what you said, and I'm really glad what you said, and you actually reasoned for putting Hurts. I think Hurts is 5'2" in my mind. But what I've heard a lot of people say is Jalen Hurts is 5 out of those guys because it's only been 1 year of him being well. Like
no, I
and I remember that was my same argument for Joe Burrow last year. Now I've completely changed it because now it's been 2 consecutive
Good years,
years
yeah.
of
Yeah.
Joe Burrow being good. So that was my not to people like you and Bobby who like agree that
yeah.
you know he's still young in his career, but he will move up. It's and then some of these bigger name guys who just always have to be that controversial thing or stuff like that.
Well,
It's
yeah,
like,
that's how they make money.
But it's only been 1 year, and I was like, yeah, but
I think you
1
can look
year
at
with a
Jalen
solid
Hurts'
team.
career and see each. And now this was year 3 for him, right?
Yeah.
Year 3. You've seen each year he's got because he was on Carson Wentz was on the Colts last year, and that was year 2 with.
Yeah.
That was their first year committing to Jalen Hurts. This is year 3 for him.
Yeah.
Each year
I
you.
didn't realize it's 3.
Yeah, I know it flies by quick when you say it like that. But each year you've seen him get better at something. I believe that next year we're going to see Jalen Hurts be even better at throwing the ball.
Yeah.
He has stuff to work on as a passer, as a lot of young quarterbacks do. He's lucky to have the ability to use his legs that very few other quarterbacks can do. The reason I put Josh Allen above him is because Josh Allen has shown how good he is with his legs, but has also done so much with his arm prior to what
Yeah.
I believe was a UCL injury that he suffered in a game earlier. Because then his throwing
I
was
think it was-
off after that.
I'm pretty sure it was a Vikings game.
Yeah, it was the Vikings game.
Yeah.
He effed up his elbow, and then his season was different after that.
Yeah.
So-
I have the same 5, except I put Josh Allen above Herbert, except for the fact that, like, strictly quarterback wise, talent wise, I'm going to put Josh Allen 3, Herbert 4, and then Hurts 5. However, the team, I think Herbert's better because of the team he's on. Josh Allen, it relies too much on Josh Allen being Josh Allen. Herbert's good, but he can
Yeah,
have.
no, I fully admit that I have a bias towards Justin Herbert, but
I just love that, man.
It's okay.
but I think here's the thing is I can't wait to see Kellen Moore with Justin Herbert because I think we're going to see the best of that we will. Because think about it this way. Justin Herbert averages about 45 pass attempts a game. That's not good. That's not many teams win when you have to throw the ball
Yeah.
that much. Not even, I mean, yeah, you see teams do it, but you don't even see the Chiefs throw the ball that much. Like if you can't run the ball, you're screwed. And your quarterback's going to wear down, especially when you don't have a good offensive line. Like I don't think they had a single guy who started the season as their week one starter on that O-line towards the end. I think Kellen Moore is going to come in and change the running, like the whole run scheme, and make it more of a complementary offense. I expect them to get rid of Keenan Allen as well and get younger and faster there. But I do think going forward, we're going to see way more like an increase in Justin Herbert's ability. And I want to see them use his legs because he's actually mobile. They just don't do it enough. And if you can make him more of a dual threat, like a Josh Allen type, just not the same amount of volume, dude,
and not
cake.
Big of a tank.
Yeah, like it's just
Josh Allen needs to slow down. When he's diving for the goal line from the 6-yard line. Like,
yeah,
buddy.
There's just so much to Herbert's game that because he's on a small market team that you just don't get much of attention towards. Also, he found out he played like pretty much the entire season with a torn labrum in his left shoulder because he just got surgery at the end of the year, and everyone's like, "Wait, what?" So he's a tough guy. I can't wait to see what Kellen Moore can do for him to make it easier for him to be quarterback because we've already seen he can make every throw in football.
Yeah,
like that's just it was in unison.
Yeah, we did.
But that's why I put him over Josh Allen, just because
I think any of those 5 are interchangeable, and
I think Mahomes is clear cut number one.
Where do you put Curdy C? Not you. You stay quiet, Bobby. I want you to right now going into the 2023 season. Where's
stat wise? I'll put him at like number 10. But
that's right.
He can't close out games. All right, he lost to the New York.
Funny you should say that.
Oh, you see the Colts game? Did you see that Colts game?
Funny you should say that because my Super Bowl prediction next year: Bengals Vikings.
Bengals Vikings.
I think the Vikings.
Unless they have a crazy offseason and bolster that defense.
This is what the Vikings are going to go all in on defense.
So you want to watch someone win 80-0 in the Super Bowl? You think anyone can?
Yeah, I'd like to watch the Vikings do that.
You think the Vikings can stop that offense?
The Super Bowl is not at noon. All right,
I'm going to start a change.org petition. No,
if the Vikings make it,
I'm kind of reaching at the Vikings thing just because I don't know, dude. I feel like the NFC is just going to be that conference that just kind of a random team has a good year and makes it next year.
That's fair because,
I think the Vikings are the closest ones there. If the Vikings can have an average defense to complement that offense, dude, you're in pretty good shape. If you can get Dalvin Cook to be what he was 2 years ago, you're in really good shape. Yeah. So I like the Vikings and what their roster could become, but you have a lot to address on defense. If you do and you have a good offseason that way, I could see them. I think they'll win the NFC North again next year, probably.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
Bengals, I think we're going to see pretty much Bengals Chiefs go back and forth for a few years. That's just kind of,
to me, the Bengals need that O-line. You know, they have the 3-headed monster in the receiving core. They have Joe Burrow.
They have a really good defense.
Who is there now? Defense is good.
They did have injuries on the O-line, but even before it wasn't great.
Yeah, no.
But to have only one position group you need to address as a roster is pretty solid.
Yeah, it helps. It's scary thinking about. So if the Bengals did play the Vikings, that's a good matchup. But I think if the Bengals played the 49ers or the Eagles and that O-line was just as shaky as it was this postseason.
Bro. Game over.
Yeah, Joe Burrow
might be retired medically.
Where it sits right now, Philadelphia is a clear-cut number one NFC.
Oh yeah, of course they are.
Because you don't know what Trey Lance is going to do next year.
Suck.
So it all relies on Trey Lance.
I know what he's going to do next year. He's going to suck. And then Brock Purdy is going to not get Tommy John and come back with a half elbow, and they're going to be okay.
With a half elbow. Who's your prediction for next year, Bobby?
I'm going Bengals, and I think I got to go Eagles again. I think the Eagles are going to go back.
Cop out, easy pick. All right, we're not even going to talk. Not even going to justify.
Who else?
No, I know. That's kind of the, like you said, it's like the only NFC one that you can feel like fully confident in saying. I would say the 49ers, except I think Trey Lance is going to be bad. So if he's bad and Brock Purdy gets Tommy John surgery, Jimmy G's not going to be there next year. I would be shocked, but I guess you never know. If they find a way to keep him, that tells you everything you need to know about what they think of Trey Lance.
I think they're going to let him walk for that reason of give Trey Lance that confidence boost. But if Brock Purdy comes back super healthy, I can see that changing very quickly in the first 5-6 weeks of the season.
Yeah, I just don't think Trey Lance is going to be very good. And like I said, if Brock gets the Tommy John, he's going to miss all next season. You have to. The recovery for that's crazy long.
Yeah, it's like
It's like a full year.
So ready for a super wild Super Bowl prediction for next year?
Let's hear
All
it.
right, I'm going 49ers. For the simple fact that if they
Because
can,
it's wild because Trey Lance is going
if
to be
they
the
can
quarterback.
get to the playoffs, I watched them play without a quarterback against the Eagles, and that defense held them in.
Yeah,
What do you think,
until the wheels came off because you
Trey
had to
Lance
try and
might-
get a turnover. So you got
That's
to.
because they have Robbie Gold, man. I
Trey
get your
Lance,
pick.
Trey Lance might not be good, but he's better than Brock Purdy with no ability to throw the ball past the
Or
line of
whoever
scrimmage.
their other quarterback
Josh Johnson.
was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Josh Johnson.
Poor guy,
Who went
dude.
through
Picked up in
27
like
different
week
teams.
7 or week 8. And it's just like, I'll never play a down on this team.
Yeah, he's just like
NFC Championship game. Wait, what?
They're like, wait, you actually
You
need
have
me
to
to go
watch.
in there?
You at the
He's like,
40,
I haven't
the
studied the
49ers,
playbook.
Social media team posts on YouTube. It's all the 49ers mic'd up. Like it's Fred Warner, and then I think it's George Kittle on offense. And when you find out that Josh Johnson got a concussion, and then all of a sudden Brock Purdy's coming back in, Fred Warner's like, "There's no way he can't throw the ball." Like he watched him throw the ball on the sideline, and was like, "There's no way he comes back in." And then he still went back in. He was like, "Shit, like we're fucked."
It's game, yeah.
like
But
that.
Anyone who that's why it's like anyone who's mad that the players like I'd like to have played the game with a quarterback. That's a legitimate argument, man.
Yeah.
Like that is a legitimate case of like what could have happened if everyone stayed healthy.
But this is like
But we're long removed from that.
But this is like the 49ers in a nutshell. They
Yeah.
always have so many injuries. I don't
At
get it.
quarterback specifically.
And
Yeah,
running back
at-
the last couple of years.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Well,
Recurring quarterback problems. Oh, it's always usually some kind of ligament tear.
Yeah,
But
like-
Nick, get your wild pick in there. Are you
Jacksonville.
oh, all right.
For the first 7 weeks of last season, they were the number one rated efficient offense and number one rated efficient defense. That was before Trevor Lawrence started acting like the first overall pick.
Mhm.
I don't think there's any way he throws 4 picks in his second go at the playoffs. The AFC South is trash. If they don't win, that'd be shocking.
They had a chance at the Chiefs if Jamal Agnew doesn't fumble that ball.
Yeah, if
too.
Jamal Agnew doesn't fumble, and Trevor Lawrence, I think, is going to just get better and better. And then here's my wild thing is they're going to go in, they're going to get Mike Gesicki from the Dolphins because I don't think he's been targeted enough, and they're going to
I think they're going to keep Evan Ingram.
Dolphins are going to no. What they're going to do is they're going to put Evan Ingram just in a wide receiver role more often when they're going to a pass formation. I think they're going to roll 2 tight ends, Evan Ingram, Mike Gesicki. It's going to give Trevor Lawrence another guy that's an out instead of just going to Jamal Agnew and Travis Etienne. The defense, I don't even think you need anything new on the defense. They're still going to be studs like they were last year. I can see them just rolling through.
Dude, that would
a
be
lot of
wild
teams.
if they had that receiving
That would-
group. What's his face? Zay
Calvin.
Jones. Calvin, I keep
Yeah,
forgetting
you keep
about
forgetting.
Calvin.
He's coming
They're not
back.
getting Mike Gesicki.
That's
They're
right, I
getting
forgot
Calvin
about him.
Ridley. I keep forgetting about that. Oh yeah, this pick makes way more sense now just
I
on
was
that
even
alone.
thinking-
Yeah.
I was
No,
just
I think
thinking-
I think Jacksonville will win the division next year.
it's
I think
kinda
the
hard. It's
Titans'
kinda-
time is done.
It's kind of hard to pick anyone else in that division.
Unless Will
Unless-
Levis is the
well,
guy.
Who?
Unless Will Levis is the guy, and we just
Colts.
don't know it.
Yeah, if the Colts do it, man.
To
No,
me, it's tough looking at any team because look at the Titans. They screwed it up with AJ Brown. He's gone. He's not coming back.
Yeah,
I don't think you're finding a guy like him without getting rid
Yeah.
of other pieces on your team. So then we go to the Colts, who is a younger, slightly more agile Derrick Henry as your team. So your whole team is your running back with a rookie quarterback, or
most likely rookie quarterback.
Yeah, most
possibly
likely.
another veteran. But they said they don't want to do that.
I would hope they just.
And then
I'll laugh.
the
I
last
would
team,
laugh
the
my
last
ass
team in
off,
that
dude.
is the Texans, which
We all know that. We know how that story goes.
yeah. So they're gonna make the playoffs. That's not.
They should win the division.
That's not
but
a really.
Who knows if Ryan Tannehill is healthy next year? He might be able to do enough for them to just like edge out the.
They need.
Yeah.
they-
That's a 2-horse race right there, and the better roster now is Jacksonville.
Oh
so
yeah, for sure.
I'm inclined to go Jacksonville.
and they found out how to shut down Henry.
Yeah,
So it's like,
Henry's slowing down too. I mean,
Well,
you
I
can't
mean-
you can't carry that workload for as
Yeah.
long as he did.
And it's like when you traded AJ Brown, you asked him to do so much more, which he still produced. But I mean,
But it's the
just-
same on a 3rd and 4 when you have AJ Brown. You have to shade that side of the field because you're like, okay, AJ Brown against any
He
cornerback
can beat you on
or
a
safety
slant.
one
He's
on one.
so good with
He's
slant
gonna
routes.
beat you. But now it's all we have to do is just put 7 guys in the box and we're pretty much gonna stop them.
It's a guarantee. It's money.
And it's just like
Yeah,
To me, the biggest thing that I'm putting Jacksonville in there, and I think we're gonna talk about it later a little bit, but its coaching is big.
yeah.
And for me, Doug Peterson going there, Urban Meyer, whatever. He clearly didn't work out.
We don't talk about
worst coach in the NFL.
Might be the worst hire of all time.
Like, I think we could go into, so that's why I wanted to put in 23 most improved team that you think is going to be, and then least improved team.
Yeah, I'm in the division here with this one.
Well, then you go first.
Yeah, so I chose my most improved team. You mean like from 2022 to 23?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going with Jacksonville there. I think you saw it with their receiving, their three-headed monsters they had in the receiving core there with Zay Jones. Why do I keep blanking on the big guy? Christian Kirk.
Yeah.
And Evan Ingram. All three put up career totals in terms of
Zay Jones or Marvin Jones. Which one had
it was
more?
Zay Jones.
Okay.
Yeah, Marvin Jones Jr., right? He's a junior. He's like 34. He's just a guy now.
Yeah, I think he's a free agent too.
Those three right there all had career numbers in receiving yards. Evan Ingram's a very good receiving tight end. I don't know if they'll move him to a wide receiver spot because then they'd have to end up paying him more eventually.
Yeah.
So, but
and with Calvin Ridley, you're not going to do that.
Yeah, and Calvin Ridley's coming. So the production that you got out of those three, ETN had a good year. Obviously, you unlocked the potential that Trevor Lawrence had as the first overall pick. Year one with Doug Peterson as well, I think you would call that a success.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
It's just the sky is the limit with the team and the roster they have, and they're very young. So they're my most improved. And the product, you can look at it after the fact and say, absolutely, they went from first overall pick to a playoff team. So you got to give credit to that. And then least improved.
I'm saying, who do you think is going to be your most improved team going into next year? That's what I said. So from last year into the 2020
okay. Well, I'm gonna stick here home in Chicago, and I say the Bears because I think the Bears have too much. They have too much resources to not be the most improved. But I guess we'll see.
So this was the 2022 NFL season that just ended.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
So now we're going into 2023.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought I was confused by that.
I thought you were going to
Jacksonville was my 2022 most improved. And my least for 2022 was the Colts, which I think will be the same story next year as well. I think least improved team for next season, Cardinals. They're going to implode. They're going to fall apart. Have you seen their coach Murr from Impractical Jokers as a coach now?
Dude, he did look.
Did you see when he was?
Yeah, he did.
Who's the wide receiver he was meeting? He goes fireworks, pew pew pew. Deadass did that to his face. Firecracker, fast, fire. Electric. That's what I think of you. And I'm like, who the hell is this guy?
Weird guy, man.
No, I don't want to rip. We
Rondo?
learned our lesson with
Rondo
Nick Sirianni.
Yeah.
We learned our lesson with Nick Sirianni.
We really did.
But this dude actually does look like Murr from Impractical Jokers.
And he sounds like it, apparently.
Yeah, and it just was like, it was cringy as hell to watch. He could be good. I'm not going to root against him.
I mean,
but I think I just think the Cardinals as an organization are just in hell right now.
Yeah.
You thought you had your franchise quarterback in Kyler Murray. Now you don't know necessarily. Plus ACL injury. He's going to be out for most of next season too, or at least half of next season recovering.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're probably going to cut D-Hop. Your defense is okay. You're just in purgatory.
Yeah.
Like you had to fire the coach that you just signed to like a 5-year extension and your GM that you thought was like the second coming. What?
He's still in Thailand.
Yeah, apparently he's interviewing to join, I think, a college team as their offensive coordinator. If I were him, I'd stay in Thailand, bro. Yeah, they got to pay you through 2027.
Yeah, exactly.
Just chill, bro. But yeah, I just think they'll be the least improved going into the next year because they're in hell. They're just not in a good spot overall.
Yeah,
but they do have the 3rd overall pick, so that works for them.
Fair
You can see what happens. You can probably land Will Anderson Jr. or Jalen Carter. So we'll see.
The Bears don't take.
Whoever the Bears don't end up with, or whoever if the Bears trade behind them, they'll either have one of those. They'll either have their pick at whichever one the Bears don't take, or both of them because it's gonna. If the Bears trade out, it's gonna be 2 quarterbacks. So
pretty much, they're gonna get.
They're gonna get
top 10.
What should be a franchise player at that position.
Yeah. Which.
All right, Bobby.
But that's my answer. Sorry, I really drew this out.
So give me your worst improvement and best from this year, and then we'll go to the future next year.
Okay, so from this year, I got to go the Lions. Really, you're 1 game away from making the playoffs. That team rallied around that offense. They were insane.
That's a good pick. Also, I just thought. Actually, I'll wait till you're done. Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
And just literally, their defense played better. Their offense played better. Jared Goff was like.
Suddenly, you might not be in the market for one of these top quarterbacks now.
He's looking like he is a solid.
I think he's earned the right to be the starter
think- yeah,
going
Yes,
forward.
I think going forward, you have.
What were
you
they
have
like the
to roll.
third best offense in the league?
They were
Yards-wise
really
and
good.
points-wise?
And you have Amon-Ra St. Brown,
Yeah.
who really took the next step as
And
well.
then
There's so much going on there.
Jameson Williams like just came back like at the end of the year, so it's like he's supposed to be good. So
More
next year,
like they're the Jacksonville of the NFC, man. Tons
they
of
are.
potential. Literally, they were the second overall pick last year.
yeah, they were.
So,
And they
and
took Aiden Hutchinson.
and you both
So-
have good coaches that I believe are good coaches.
yeah,
At least
I like Dan
Yeah.
Campbell. Dan
I'm
Campbell.
so happy for him. I was nervous they were going to be terrible and he was going to get fired.
Yeah, and
Like, I don't want to root for the Lions necessarily, but I got nothing against their roster and I got nothing against their
If
coach.
the Bears are going to
Yeah.
be trash, you bet your ass I'm rooting for the Lions.
Yeah, I would-
I see. I
like,
root for
out
the
of that-
Vikings in the
out
division
of
when the
that
Bears are
division,
bad.
whoever I'd want to win would be the Lions. If it
Second to the
wasn't
Bears.
Yeah.
See, I'm like that with the Vikings. I'm basically just not Green Bay, to be honest
Oh,
with you.
Yeah, exactly. As long as Green Bay is doing bad, I'm
As
fine
long
with
as
that.
Green Bay loses, dude, you'll find me repping the blue and silver, one pride, baby. You know, I'm all for it when they knock
Which,
them out of the playoffs.
Have you guys seen Aaron Rodgers is out of his?
Yeah, he's out of his solitary
Oh,
confinement,
now
his
we know
hobbit
this.
hole.
Yeah, like that.
Dude's a weird man.
I was watching the Fat
But-
Mac show. And they're
Whoa, whoa, we finish this
All right,
question.
we'll finish
then
it.
we go.
We're
Then
getting
we'll
off
rock.
track. We
All
do
right.
this too often.
So then, for next year, the most improved. Well, I don't want to say the Bears,
But it's the Bears.
That's who's like a top? Who's gonna be like a top
I
team?
don't know, Bobby. Just pick one.
I'm gonna. I'll
Pick one
say
of the 32.
I'll say Texans. We'll go Texans because I'm assuming they're going to grab Bryce Young. Their offense might be a lot better, or they're going to get a really good top talent, and I'm hoping they'll address some of their needs, and they won't be as bad. So they'll improve a lot.
Okay, fair enough.
And then so the worst team, I'm going to go with the Rams. They're screwed. They have no picks.
They got Baker, bro.
He's a free agent.
They're gonna keep Baker, bro.
No, they're not.
They're gonna keep
No, they're
Baker, bro.
not.
No, they said Matt Stafford wants to come back.
Yeah.
Just retire, bro. You've made it to
you
you've
won
made it
this
to
one.
your career peak.
Like,
End there. Like, don't find yourself in like the Peyton Manning's end years where it's like you're the liability, especially when it's like you've only had really one year where you weren't on a bad team per se.
yeah.
So you can find yourself right back in that conversation of, is Matt Stafford a Hall of Famer? Is he actually that good?
And then,
Just retire on top.
Yeah.
That's my thing.
Yeah, like you had an injury. Like there's nothing you could do.
Call it.
Yeah, call
You
it
got
quits.
your ring. Call it. Retire in
It's
SoCal.
like Brock Purdy.
but-
7-0, retire.
Done.
This take could blow up very easily because it could just be Matt Stafford comes back
And they're back to
their
normal.
offense is just boom right on. It's Sean McVay. You know,
You think Bobby
But-
Trees is going to come back too?
No.
nah, he's at the Titans.
Yeah, he's a
Or
free
he's
agent, though.
free
Oh, he's a
Cooper
free
Kupp's
agent?
recruiting him. He's
Why-
trying to bring him back.
Why? He's garbage. Like unless you're gonna cut Allen
Bears are
Robinson,
going to sign him.
Bobby Trees.
Robert Woods is coming to Chicago. You heard it here
No,
first.
Man, no, I'm sorry. I like.
Who else
after
are they going to
last-
sign?
Oh, well, I'll get to that later.
No, I know. I got someone else there, too.
I would hope they would trade down and get more picks and take
Yeah,
a
we'll
top
see.
receiver
So
down.
those are
That
your
would-
picks then for...
Yeah, that would be my picks. Yeah.
So
Who are you
for-
going with?
I'm trying to
For-
keep us like...
For me, worst this year has to be the Broncos.
Yeah, see, I was going to say, I just realized the Broncos happened. So
Yeah, 'cause it's
Oh,
like,
yeah,
so for
that's-
me, Broncos are worse. But weirdly enough, 2023 Broncos are going to be the best improved. Simply
No.
for the fact because I watched Doug Peterson take Trevor Lawrence, who was just a little baby in the league, and
little
turn him
baby
into a
boy.
good guy.
Little baby.
Sean Payton, arguably top 5 coach, or you know what? I'm going to say it, top 2 coach in our lifetime for right now so far.
I'm not going to agree with you there, buddy.
He's a good coach. But also that he came out and said that Team 3 is not allowed to build a wall.
Yeah, so he's
What?
like
So like
team 3. Russell Wilson's like team thing that's like with him. Team
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry.
like, you have to go through Team 3 if you even want to contact Russell Wilson, even if you're his teammate. Yeah. So
He straight up was
They're-
like, that's not happening.
yeah, no, they're completely out of.
So he's already doing stuff
Yeah.
like that, and it's like I don't.
Yeah, you gotta kind of, Russell Wilson needs to be put down a little bit,
Well, it's
man.
just
that
like
is,
you
like,
look,
you
you look at
have to
that
do.
team.
Homeboy's acting like he's 6'7" out
Look
there.
at
He's
that team.
5'11", bro.
That defense is good. Their offense should be good with what they have. Their coach now is a good coach, and it's just like I don't. I can't see them not having success. I mean, I said that before this year.
We
happened.
did. We said they were going to be
It
like
just
one of the
turned
most improved.
into
We
garbage.
thought that whole division was going to make the
Now,
playoffs.
the best team from this year, I think, on the other side of that trade is the Seahawks. You get rid of your franchise quarterback. You get some picks in return. You're like, all right, this year's going to be a down year, but then going forward, we're going to have great success.
Great
Instead,
success. Very nice.
You make the playoffs this year. You have a top 10 pick because the Broncos gave it to you, and now they suck. You found a guy who could definitely hold you over where you don't have to. The same thing with Jared Goff. You don't have to trade up and get that next quarterback that's
Right.
going to cost you a lot of money. And you got Kenneth Walker, you got a stud running back, stud receiver core. Pete Carroll's still good. You got all that going for you. Now, worst team this year? No, not the same division. I'm going to go Raiders, the same division as the Broncos. You get rid of Derek Carr. You still have Josh McDaniels as your coach.
Wait, I thought you said the Broncos were the worst team
No,
this year.
Broncos were the worst team this year. Next year.
Twenty-
Oh, so
2021,
least improved
2022.
going it for next year.
Least
Okay,
improved
okay,
going
okay.
into next
Sorry.
year is gonna be the Raiders.
It's so confusing for my
Because
itty
you-
bitty brain.
You still have
Boy,
Josh.
you messed it up.
Yeah, that's what I just said. It's confusing for my itty bitty brain.
You still have Josh
I
McDaniels. That you have that scrub who now the scapegoat for your whole season is gone with Derek Carr.
Mhm.
Josh Jacobs may not be there depending on what you do
Yeah.
with him. So now you have Devontae Adams, and you still have good receiving core. Defense is lackluster, especially in that division. But it's just like I think they're going to find out very quickly that their scapegoat that they used for Derek Carr shouldn't have been Derek Carr. Should have probably been Josh McDaniels.
True,
Dude, Josh McDaniels is an absolute bum. He's almost as big of a fraud as Cliff Kingsbury.
They're
We all know
gonna-
how I stand. I agree with that take as well.
they're going to go and trade for Mac Jones because it's coming out that Mac Jones and Bailey Zappi are the same quarterback.
We'll see.
Watch.
Then I'll have to root for them because I don't want Mac Jones to be a bust.
Well, I
I kind of feel bad because Mac Jones was one of those guys who's year 2 in the NFL and everyone's like, he's terrible.
He's still better than Zach Wilson. who's taken
Homeboy,
ahead of him,
yeah,
so.
homeboy had the sophomore slump, and we're gonna rip on him so hard. They were in position to make the playoff. They could have made the playoffs if they beat the Bills at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah, they
Of
were.
course,
They-
he's gonna have a sophomore slump. He's not exceptional, but he's good. He's better than Daniel
I feel like
Jones.
you
You
can't
had
name
Matt
someone
Patricia.
a bust if you're better than someone who was taken higher than you.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
you already outplayed someone.
Yeah,
above
you're
you.
better.
Yeah,
You're
so-
better than Zach Wilson, and you know what? You're better than Daniel Jones, in my opinion. Come at me, Giants fans. I want all of the smoke
See,
now.
and that's a fair comparison because Mac Jones' receiving core and the Giants' receiving core not much
Sucks.
different. It's about the same.
About the same. Another team with a terrible receiving core, the Bears. But we don't hear about how Justin Fields, it's all about how he can't throw the ball. But Mac Jones,
Yeah, but he can't throw the ball.
he's okay. Okay. Like,
Hey,
his receiving core is bad. That's my point, Nick. Thank you for proving
Yeah,
my point.
thank you.
Bears off season. Let's get into our wish lists here.
Well, I'm just gonna say Bobby's trees. I don't want them. I'm sorry.
I think it's the most realistic.
Bobby, we said
option.
wish list, not anti-wish list.
That's
Yeah.
my anti-wish.
You've been a bad
list.
boy this year. You're going to get Bobby
I wouldn't be shocked. I don't
You're-
think it'll. I
you're
wouldn't be
letting him
shocked
have
if
trees.
Robert Woods signs as just like what they did with Byron Pringle last year. I think he's better than Byron Pringle at least.
Oh yeah, I mean, like I won't.
There's
be,
just no free agents really. You're
Yeah.
hoping on cap casualties, which me and Nick will get into when we're up. But Bobby, you go first. Give us your wish list.
my wish list.
Yeah, so offense, defense, other. is
Which
the
could be
criteria for here. Which
Special
could be
teams.
Special teams, another offense, another
Okay.
defense, or a coach if you want to go that way.
So my big signings that I want Marcus Davenport. I think that's a great signing. He has
old.
produced.
He's old.
Give him.
Yeah, we
No,
need a
I would.
veteran
I would be
guy.
cool with Marcus.
We need a
Davenport.
veteran guy. in the
For the
league.
right
need a-
price.
you
For the
need a
right
good
price.
edge
Oh,
rusher.
dude, I'm thinking of someone else. Marcus Davenport's 26. Yeah, I want Marcus Davenport.
exactly.
Who am I thinking? Oh, I'm thinking of who's their other edge rusher there?
Oh,
What team is he on?
the Saints.
I'm thinking of Cam
Yeah,
Jordan.
yeah, Cam Jordan. There you go.
I would take Cam Jordan too. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but-
My thing was Cam Jordan's going to be 34.
Oh,
That's why I was saying. I thought
Yeah.
Marcus Davenport. I mixed those two up.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
But I mean, he's 26. Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Give him a bag.
I'm
Like,
going to
dare
change
you-
my defensive
how
option. No,
dare
I'm
you
kidding.
make a mistake?
you have 100 million
I'm
in
only
cap.
human.
You have 100 million cap, so you could give him back. You get a solid edge rusher,
Yes, I
Um,
would like that one a lot.
and I would go getting a sure tackle. Like I want Orlando Brown.
Mike McGlinchey?
I think he's a guard, right?
No, he's a tackle.
he is.
he's a
Okay,
tackle.
Mike McGlinchey.
The problem is those are both right tackles. Although Braxton Jones had a good year at left tackle. I think you're
Yeah.
going to roll Braxton Jones next year
I
at
think
left
To
tackle.
You
me,
just-
when you're looking at the
you get-
Bears, you're looking at a team that has good offensive line guys that can be moved around because they're not too set.
Mhm.
Like once you get a guy like for me, Mike McGlinchey's going to play his spot because
Which is right tackle.
So he's going to play right tackle because he's old. So he's going to play where he's been playing for so long.
I don't think he's old.
Older.
Yeah, older.
Yeah.
But
Like
also-
when they got Alex Leatherwood, I was fine putting Alex Leatherwood wherever they needed him to fit because he's only been in the league for 1 year. So it's like, I understand you might not excel at this position, but we're going to try to move you where we need you to fill.
I'm kind of bummed we didn't see a lot of Leatherwood. McGlinchey's 28, by the way.
Okay.
Okay.
But I think if you keep Leatherwood around and put him at guard, which is what he played in college, I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
I've always said move Cody Whitehair back to center, Leatherwood at guard. Braxton Jones made the all-rookie team. Pro Football Focus all-rookie team, which is pretty solid for left tackle.
Yeah.
Mike McGlinchey, I like that one, or Orlando Brown as your right tackle. Then you're in pretty good shape.
I mean, you have the money. Why not just pay someone? You know what I mean? Like
The question, I don't think
sure.
Orlando Brown, I think he's going to get re-signed by the Chiefs.
I don't know if they have the money though.
Maybe not.
It
That's
really
true.
comes down to it because he's not gonna pay he's gonna get over $10 million a year.
That's true.
Like,
They
for
don't
sure.
have a ton of cap space.
Yeah.
But
And there's a
then
lot of
who is your
teams.
other?
My other
It could be it could be anyone. Just like a
any signing
It could be any signing
Or
or,
trade.
anyone too in like
Jalen
coach.
Rams are shopping Jalen Ramsey.
I would, dude. You have the money. I 100% would do that trade.
Yeah,
Like,
that came out today. They're shopping him.
you have
Today is February 24th for those who are listening to this not instantly.
Oh man,
I was like, what does that matter? I'm like, the
I
trade
don't-
deadline is not for a while. now.
I don't care if you got to give up your
Be careful.
dude. Trade back, give up one of those first rounders. Boom.
I think you can get
Set.
Jalen Ramsey for less than a first
I
round
think
pick.
you could probably get him for a second.
Give me your
Maybe
three
a
your
second
three
and then, like, a
untouchables
fifth.
for this trade, Bobby. Because you're not trading Jalen Johnson
Oh.
for him, are you?
No, you're
God,
keeping
no.
Jalen Johnson.
You're not trading Jaquan Brisker.
No.
No,
And you're not trading Kyler Gordon.
no, like those.
So those are your three on defense. So anyone else on defense?
I would trade. Well, actually, no. Jalen Ramsey's hitting 30 now, so maybe not.
Yeah,
Kyler Gordon had a solid rookie year. We're talking just overall untouchables on the entire team because I got a few.
I would
I was just saying on
picks.
defense, just because if you're
I would say your entire secondary, your main four secondary guys are untouchable. That includes Eddie Jackson.
I just don't know who's.
You don't have anything on defense to offer. That's the
Or-
problem.
I'm saying
there.
except for those
offense.
four.
Yeah, or on you have like
Like-
nothing to
And
offer.
you're not really giving up.
You're
not
giving
Justin
up
Fields.
picks. I think if they got
Yeah, you
Jalen
would
Ramsey,
have to go
it
all
would be a
picks.
draft day trade based on what they get in return for when they trade the first, if they trade the first overall
Yeah,
pick.
I think it would be like.
But so is Jalen Ramsey your other then?
I would like him, but my other would be the stars would have to line up. All right, don't quote me on this at all. All right, the stars would have to line up. This is what I want to wish for. Devontae Adams hates it because they traded away his best friend. All right, or not traded away, but forced him out.
You need the stars and the planets
Yes,
to align there,
but-
buddy.
But if the stars did line up
And
it's
the
a wish
planets.
list,
You
all
need
right?
both.
Yeah, and the planets, it's a wish list. All right, I could wish. all
Yeah,
right?
this is your
You get Devontae Adams. I don't care if you
yeah,
are-
I just don't think that one's happening.
I don't care if you trade the first
Hell was
overall
that?
pick.
What the hell? Did you hear that?
Yeah.
It sounds like a gas can.
Oh yeah, there's these. It's probably because it's warming up. These metal
Oh,
things
yeah.
are expanding.
Okay.
But
That's a solid wish list.
I like it, Bobby.
Nick, I'll let you go
You've been a
first.
bad boy and you're getting Bobby trees.
I don't
Yeah,
want
that,
Bobby Trees,
I wouldn't
man.
be shocked, dude. But you go next, Nick, because we did kind of mention one of your guys
Yeah,
already.
for me, Bobby kind of mentioned him. Mike McGlinchey was my offensive guy. For me, you have that money to spend, but I think if you can get some of these cap casualty guys, I have another one on my wish list in cap casualty, I think you can maybe go and spend on defense a little bit more.
Mhm.
I like building. So on defense, I have Will Anderson Jr. I like getting an edge guy. I feel like there's a lot of guys that the Bears have trade value with that number one overall pick that you could wrap a couple picks and D tackle in there from
Mhm.
the Colts or some of these other teams that are willing to trade up. So I don't really want to go after Jalen Carter because I feel like you're going to replace him with the trade guy you get. So Will Anderson Jr. would be my guy for defense. And then offense is my other, Michael Thomas, being a cap casualty. I think people judge him as like, well, he's not going to play. No
I
one
don't
really
want
likes
him personally.
I'm
To-
sorry. I
To
hate him.
me,
I can't
There's
stand
one
that
person
man.
I hate in the NFL, and that's Michael Thomas.
To me,
Homeboy
I've
looks like
seen-
Sideshow Bob too
I've seen guys go from
And-
like,
from The Simpsons.
when you look at
Yeah.
Evan Ingram, he went to the Giants, and then everyone in the Giants fan base hated him. They're like, he doesn't try, he can't catch the ball, he drops passes. Boom, goes to Jacksonville, completely different, kind of style of play. Kind of gets to be his own guy. Boom, stud.
Yeah, I don't want
Michael Thomas. I would love to see Michael
No
Thomas.
disrespect,
just
but I think
Yeah.
he's
tall,
piece of shit.
a tall receiver.
Heavy disrespect, actually.
No disrespect, but I'm getting crap on your entire life.
Dude, he is the most hated fantasy football players. Like,
F
100%.
that, dude, I
Literally.
swear. But no, Nick, if I'll tell you what, if you got him and he plays, because of how much money they have to spend, I wouldn't be upset. Because I would be upset if they tie a ton of guaranteed money.
Oh, yeah.
But if you could just get him for like a 2-year deal,
with
I'd
how
be cool with
contracts
it.
are all established now, if the Saints cut him, which I think they are because they always have cap issues,
But
they're going to be probably the most overspent.
For some reason, they always get back on.
Yeah,
the
Yeah,
because
but
they all
now-
just kick the can.
Now
Dude.
as
They
you're,
just kick
now
the
as you're
can.
looking at it, you can look at a guy where it's like, hey, look, our quarterbacks are trash. What is the point of having Michael Thomas even on our roster when he's probably going to play 2 or 3 games? Cut him. Move on. Bears can take a chance on like teams that are poised to possibly go, that are looking for that one more receiver to go in, aren't going to be willing to risk going after him when they can try to shore up their defense. Like Vikings aren't going to go for Michael Thomas. They're going to go for defense. If the
They'd be
Bears can
fools to do
somehow,
that.
if the Bears
Go
can
after
somehow
Thomas.
structure his contract to where it's incentive based, where a lot of NFL or NBA or MLB teams have done it, he's got to play a certain amount of games. He's got to get a certain amount of catches. That's how he can make his money. I'm fine with that. If you put something in there where he's got to have 85 catches so that he can get, a big bonus.
Yeah.
Well, then put that in there because that means he got 85 catches. Now I'm willing to pay him money. I'm not willing to pay him money if he's going to sit on the bench for
Plus,
17
if you
games.
bring sometimes guys, when it runs sour, like I think it has with him in New Orleans, sometimes when they go to a new place, they get like it relights a fire in them. So I would be cool with it if the money's right, for sure.
So it's just because you have so much money.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't want to tie a ton of resources if you're pressed for resources. You know what I mean?
Because like I
I
saw
would be way happier with him than Bobby Tree.
Allen Robinson going to the Rams.
Everyone would. There's a different level there.
I assumed Allen Robinson was going to have a breakout year just because he's getting out of that Matt Nagy offense. He's getting out of away from bad quarterbacks.
Yeah,
unfortunately, his quarterbacks were hurt, so we really didn't
work out that way for him.
But I can see Michael Thomas coming. And I like the big guys because to me, Justin Fields still can't throw that well. But if you find a guy like I think Jalen Hurts with AJ Brown, AJ Brown's a big ass target. He gets open.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Thomas is 6'5". You got Cole Kmet who's 6'6". That's a big catch radius. You don't have to be that accurate with those two guys out there.
That's true. So my wish list, I'm going to go defense. I want Deron Payne from Washington. Ooh. I think he's probably going to get franchise tagged most likely. But I would love for them to get him because if you can throw him and say you get Jalen Carter, you'd have 2 like studs right there.
Or signing both Marcus Davenport and Deron Payne.
Or that. Who knows? God only knows.
We have 120 million. We can buy the world.
We can buy the world. No, I would like Deron Payne. If they did that, that probably would mean they're not going Jalen Carter as well.
Yeah, I think they would go Will Anderson.
But that's my big wish there. I think he's probably gonna get franchise tagged though. But if he doesn't, I want him to be the main defensive free agent they go after. I would like that to be the marquee signing, if you will. Offense. This is a possible cap casualty. I don't know if this is a sure thing, but I feel like it's certainly like way more likely or way more possible than we may have thought. Keenan Allen possibly getting cut by the Chargers. Keenan Allen is older now. He's not like old, you know what I mean? But he's never been a fast guy, and his route running isn't as good. Yet he's still a sure-handed wide receiver.
Yeah.
But I think the Chargers need to get younger at wide receiver, and they need to probably move on from Keenan Allen. So if they cut him, I would like the Bears to go after him, bring a veteran wide receiver who's still very solid, a reliable set of hands, who's a bigger guy who runs solid routes, even though it's not as crisp as he used to be. I would just like him to be there because you're probably going to you already have a young receiving core, Darnell Mooney and Chase Claypool. Those are your 1 and 2s, whichever order you want to put them at the moment.
Don't forget they re-signed Equinemius.
Equinemius is back. But so if you bring in Keenan Allen, I'd like that. I think he just brings some stability to that position group that's been just a toss up week after week. I also would like them to keep N'Keal Harry.
The Bears are playing the long con. If you keep Equanimous, eventually Amon-Ra is going to be a free agent. You have his brother.
Oh,
Kind of like the Bulls are doing with signing Antetokounmpo's youngest brother.
exactly.
Yeah,
It'll
if you
all
get the
happen
brothers,
eventually. And then, then my other, this is two guys. I put two guys in here because I'm kind of cool with either one.
We'll allow it.
But both are linebackers. I'm going either Tremaine Edmonds from Buffalo. I'd like him. He's good in the run game. He's gotten better in pass coverage. Or Bobby, I messed up his name, Okereke. Okereke?
Yeah, Okereke.
Okereke from what's it called? From Indianapolis.
Yep.
He had a career year as well. Both of those guys can play Roquan's position. They both would play weak side. And I think either one would fit very nicely. Bobby Okereke would have a better fit because he played and came up with Eberflus in Indianapolis. So you would imagine there'd be a quicker transition to the defense and everything with him. But I'd like either of those two guys. They're both young, 24 and 26, I believe, respectively. And so I'd be happy with both of those, whichever way.
Yeah, no, I would definitely be cool with
I'm
that.
happy if any of these things turn out.
Yeah, especially the Bears only have one linebacker under contract for next season. Do you know who it is?
Is it Jack Sanborn?
It's Jack Sanborn.
Oh,
Their undrafted rookie is the only linebacker who is under contract for next.
Sign Nick Morrow?
No,
Wow,
they didn't, and they
surprised.
cut. They have. I mean, they might eventually, but as it stands right now, he's the only guy slated to return next year.
Do they still have Lamar Jackson, the safety?
God, I don't know, dude.
I don't think
Probably.
so.
I don't know. I don't think anyone ever picked him up off their practice squad.
And who was the other guy that had the weird name from the?
Dude.
I know when you got the season.
Oh,
ticket holder.
Tuggle, Demontrell Tuggle. Yeah, he's not. He's gone.
I think he's in the XFL.
Good.
Or the USFL.
I want his
One of
jersey.
the two.
I'm gonna get his jersey. I'm gonna find,
Tuggle.
even if I have to like custom make it on Jersey
You don't
Birds.
wanna
I'm getting
get
myself with the
Bandanucci.
Bandanucci. No, he gets hit by lemons. I don't want that. But yeah, so those are my picks there. Which if any of us are right on any of these, I'd be pretty happy. Less happy about Michael Thomas. He'd be my least. No, I'm kidding. But
Yeah,
I'd be happy with any of them, to be honest. So that's the wish list. We'll kind of touch on it as it goes on.
It is.
But we're going to be reaching the slow point in sports news. So we're going to have to see what our episodes become, guys. Stay tuned
send
for
in
those.
mailbag questions.
Yeah, please send in the mailbag
Hey,
questions.
what are you talking about? March Madness is next week.
That's true. I forget. March
Well,
is next week.
no,
You know what else is
not
next
really,
week?
Like next week.
You know what
but
else is
March
next week?
Your birthday.
Thank you, Bobby,
Yes,
for remembering.
I remember.
I'm not a good friend. I did not.
I know,
I
Nick,
thought it
you
was later in
piece of
March.
shit.
I'm sorry.
It's March. My birthday's March 2nd, guys. My Cash
man.
App, I'll plug it in. I'll put my Cash App in Venmo. We'll tweet it out, and
How
then
much
just
money
please.
has your podcast made? Zero. But Andrew got $4,000 for his
I'll put a TikTok. If just 2,000 people send me $1, I can afford to do this.
I can afford another MacBook, so I can really flex on Nick. For not
I
having
got
a
2
working computer.
bitches. But otherwise, yeah, let's roll in. Nick, want to hit us with your question of the week?
Yeah, I'm torn. I'm going to let you guys decide. Do we
Bet.
want to do kind of similar to what we talked about in the car ride when we were getting dinner, or do we want to do something completely different?
Completely different.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
completely
His
different. Okay, so interesting fact that happened with my favorite team in MLB, the Seattle Mariners. They were told by the MLB they had to cut 3 of their jerseys because now you can only have 4 jerseys going into a season.
Okay.
Besides your City Connect, and then besides your one special day
Throwback
or
whatever.
Well, no, not
or no,
throwback,
your
but,
special day.
If you have if they retire Ichiro's number, they can have a special jersey for that.
Okay, gotcha.
So the Seattle Mariners getting their City Connect jerseys. I, for one, think that the City Connects are way better than the color rushes of the NFL. So if you could design your perfect City Connect for the NFL jersey, what team would you want the first one to be, and what would be the inspiration for it? Because I feel still to this day, Diamondbacks #1 in the MLB.
Can you repeat part of that? I'm sorry, my watch started buzzing a lot.
So City Connect jerseys, I like them better than the color rush because it's not
Yeah.
just a color. It's got
for
a tie.
NFL? Yeah, okay.
So it's got a tie to the city or the area.
Yeah.
So if they brought City Connects to the NFL, what team would you want to be the marquee poster child for City Connect so it doesn't flop? And then what would be the inspiration? Because
this requires me to know a lot of history of other
to
cities.
me, it's Dallas Cowboys. And you got to make it look like chaps and a nice vest, like you're about to ride a horse, but
No,
that's the jersey.
That would be hilarious.
That would
Fake-
be
they got the fake spurs
that'd
on
be
the boot.
so sick. I understand it's gonna look a little ridiculous, but when you look at the jerseys, they've been so boring. It's like, oh, we have a new Cowboys jersey. It's a slightly different shade of blue than before.
Yeah.
It's boring. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I understand that that's not your. I'm still watching football for the football, but there are a lot of wives, girlfriends, and young kids who pick their colleges that they choose to cheer for and pick MLB teams and other teams just based on what they look like. So it's like, let's just give the fans what they want.
Give them what they. I don't know, dude. That's so tough.
On your Thursday
That
night
is-
game of the season, just put on a weird ass uniform.
Yeah, I don't see.
True.
I don't know enough about other cities.
Well, then go with the Bears.
Yeah, I would have to go with the Bears just because I think I like the color scheme of the Bear or the Chicago flag. So like, I'd like to see them just incorporate that somewhere. I mean, it's a very similar scheme to what the what's it called? What the Titans have already. If the Titans change their navy blue to like powder blue, but
Yeah.
I like that. I like those colors. I think it would look cool on a jersey. Otherwise, dude, I don't know. I feel like the Chargers could do something cool with LA. Maybe either New York team would be able to do something cool, but I'll just say because I know the most about Chicago, obviously, I'm going to go Chicago.
Yeah,
That's a boring answer, but that's
Probably I'm not allowing you to take Chicago.
I'm not. I'm
Go.
gonna go Nashville, Music City. I feel like you could do something.
Oh.
cool with
oh,
that.
that's
Yeah,
you could do
that's
something cool
Yeah, you
there
could
as
do
well. I
something
like
really
that.
But it's just like I don't like when the NFL is like, wow, you want to know something sick? Color rush. Seahawks, you're gonna wear your third color of your uniform
The
as the
green.
whole uniform.
That
Yeah,
whole
just
like,
green, you're
That
looking
really
like a
wasn't a
highlighter.
big stretch to it. It was just like
I liked when it was the Rams and the Chiefs, and it was the Heinz condiment bowl because they just looked like ketchup and
Yeah.
mustard.
To me, I hated the Raiders got screwed because both times when it was their color rush, it was all gray and it was all white. That was it. Like
Yeah.
I know their colors are gray, black, and white, but it is like, are you serious that your color rush uniform is just one of the base colors of every other 31 teams that are in the NFL?
Or you could do like Las Vegas, like Sin City.
Oh
With
yeah, I
the
forgot
red,
Vegas
like,
would look
that'd be
cool. Or
cool,
you could do
man.
something with
I was thinking New York with like if you did like the
Casinos and stuff.
Statue of Liberty and like the skyline, like you could just do it on the helmet or like on the back of it. It's like,
yeah. See?
and
I
the
hope they do it, but they probably
The
won't.
stupidest
Yeah.
thing is the NFL. You don't even need numbers on the back of the jersey. There's enough things that you can just see the front and be fine. So it's like use the whole back and do something cool.
Yeah, I would be open. I think I want them to do a City Connect, but it's the NFL. It's the no fun league, so
Yeah.
they probably won't.
Hey,
but
but the XFL being in, and Bobby said that at the start of the episode, his hotspot was about it. If it builds up enough, then you're going to see some changes where it's like we got to.
well, I know they're testing. They're testing the new kickoff rule,
Yep.
which was pretty cool. They're testing some things for the NFL. I think this is going to be a complementary relationship that they have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, their fans are throwing lemons in this league. I don't think the NFL is going to put lemons in the stadiums.
No,
But,
they learned a lesson. The NFL, no lemons. Everyone, no,
No
lemons.
lemons.
but if they start doing some wild, crazy jerseys and everyone starts buying them because they're like, wow, these are cool, even though I'm not a fan of the DC Defenders, I'm still going to buy a DC Defenders
Right.
jersey. The NFL will be like, we're losing out on revenue. Let's do some wild things right here.
True. I hope they do it, but I don't know. We'll see. The NFL always is just kind of boring with that kind of
Yeah.
stuff, which sucks. However, I think that's probably a good place to wrap up before we just talk ourselves in a circle.
But
So
you don't want to do another circle?
no,
One more laugh.
okay, fine. Okay, so guys, our hotspots is no. Thank you guys for tuning in. We hope you like what you heard. If you did, please give us a like and follow on our social medias. All of that is in our website, garagetalksports.com. Please interact with mailbag questions, anything you want us to talk about, especially with us hitting a slower time here with sports news because there's just not much going on at the moment. So if you have anything or any ideas, hypotheticals even, like can Bobby throw for 100 yards in an NFL game or something like that, maybe we'll talk about that.
That's a no.
that's a no.
I can answer that.
Yeah,
for you
but
guys.
Just let us know, guys.
Let's do that. Just 1 week, we'll have 20 minutes
You
of
have-
each person.
You have to.
Andrew and Bobby will come with one for me. Me and Andrew will come with one for Bobby, and then me and
Yeah, we'll
for some-
figure it
some
out as
random
we go.
sports thing that
Okay.
think if it works out.
But thanks for tuning in, guys. And we will talk to you next week. Take it easy.
See ya.